Jesus said to them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, the Son can do nothing of his own accord, but only what he sees the Father doing. For whatever he does, that the Son does likewise. For the Father loves the Son, and shows him all that he himself is doing. And greater works than these will show him, that you may marvel. For as the Father raises the dead and gives them life, so also the Son gives life to whom he will. The Father judges no one, but has given all judgments to the Son."
Hey, angel of death, debate me, you motherfucking pussy. You won't step up to this challenge, okay? You just want to make these baseless threats and...
Been considering more stuff about MK Ultra and the drugging of the population. I'm in quite a paranoid state about it. I can't help but feel that we're being gradually, slowly killed off a certain percentage of the population.
These alien groups should come into the light and actually discuss with us what they need. Even eating humans is not a concept that is absolutely impossible as long as it's done in the light or in the public view. If it's done covertly, it will end badly for both sides. So, in my view, we should attempt to find a common ground as individuals with these groups and try to find something we can do so that both groups can exist in the same planet.
Top of the pyramids were a gold capstone. This had a different function or a different ontos to all the other stones in the pyramid, which were not gold plated, and they didn't have that function of allegedly putting an energy beam into space, I think. So it's ontologically different, and that's what the shamans seem to be. We seem to be ontologically different to the normal people. Excuse me for noticing. So yeah, I really think shamans are the kind of the best we've got, and namely and especially to the time that we're in, which is probably the most important point. What I mean, well, we're at the end of history, we're stepping out of the box of history.
They'll be sort of pushing it in certain directions from behind the scenes, like puppetry. This group, that group, fighting here, ally them with that group, split these two in half into different factions, etc. To use the old divide and conquer method so that no entity can become as powerful as the Romanoid oligarchy, which is so entrenched in power and on demiurgic Earth that no one can stand up to them.
One of these kinds of thoughts that aren't really accepted and people don't want to hear about. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, that you need to take all these kinds of medications. And you should have the freedom to be able to think the way that you want to think. But psychiatry industry is basically the government arm and saying, sort of the government minion arm and saying, listen, you can't think this way. You can't think this way, and if you do, we're going to put you on medication. So you better hide that you think this way. You better pretend you don't think this way, and you better keep it from everyone else. You better not talk openly about it. So, I mean, that's what mental illness is. It's basically like, you know, we don't want to be curious about you. We want to tell you what to do. We want to tell you you're wrong. We want to tell you that there's something wrong with you, and you want to give you these medications, and you better take them for the rest of your God-forsaken life. That's what they do.
Perhaps that's the only way, is to simply project information when on an altered plane. And that way, unless the CIA and MI6 use parapsychologists, we can work without them being able to decipher what we're saying to one another. I guess that would be the idea, wouldn't it? Gather a group of us, become semi-telepathic, build up an intelligence network,
We as a civilization have evolved to a point where we can actually understand that we are food for other species and that other species will eat us because we eat other species, that life goes in a cycle.
You know, I'm gonna call the psychiatrist. I'm gonna tell them, oh, they better give you a call because, you know, you're going through problems. Like, you know, you need quote unquote help. You need to take drugs. You need to, you know, become docile. You need to become medicated. You need to become sedated. You know, you need to just ban these kinds of parts of your mood or your mental apparatus from having any sort of gravitas in your system.
What's up?
Hey Nick, could you please, this is a tall order, Nick, but could you please tell me precisely what they had me, you know the time when they were trying to get you to kill me? They had me, torturing and raping a girl, you know, and you were hearing this audio?
Against me. And I had used to these situations because they use things, techniques that the government or the secret ritual cult they make it for the decrease of the populations, depopulation programs. If you are become targeted individual and don't know how to deal with it, you can check whatever many targeted individuals putting a YouTube video and then on how to escape from the cockroach activities.
That's a #1 priority for me. So I want to make that clear for you guys, and I've made it clear on other videos. I know y'all understand. So that's why I go into detail about like kind of the tactics they use. And it's taken a long time for them to gather protocol and really get it working to where it's like, even if I don't respond, they can do stuff with synthetic telepathy and the remote neural imaging mixed with the V2K to try and get me roped in, because I feel like I have to justify, hey, that wasn't me. You know, that wasn't, you know, my thought. That was a synthetic phrase, and then it's like the V2K responding. So that's a tactic they use to get me enmeshed in their mess.
So they love negativity. If you have bipolar disorder or any mental illness, they may come to you, okay? They will flock to you, and they'll make you more and more and more depressed because that's what they want and that's what they like, and then more and more and more will flock to you, okay? So, but they're electric, and we are kind of electric. The brain is electric. They live in the frontal lobe of the brain. I'm pretty sure that's electric. All right. So, how is this all relevant? I don't know. It's just there.
It's okay, and I'm like, and I hesitate. Okay, I open this thing and I look about, and 3 lights, like the biggest here and the smallest there, like tuck tuck tuck. For a moment, and then they went off. I immediately closed my tent, went back to sleep, which is absolutely, completely 180 degrees different than my normal behavior. I would like really think about whatever that happened. Totally, whole night that I just felt asleep, like what's the power, whatever these rays they have on human brain, it just goes sleep, go delta waves, just memory. What is the memory? I don't want to go there.
So anyway, that is something I wanted to bring attention to, that the people in communities like these who actually believe in relativistic good and relativistic evil and don't believe that there is a requirement to be always good or always evil, or that you don't need to work towards being good, you need to work towards being yourself. In communities like this, it's smart to point out that you are actually in the minority, that most of humanity will believe that you must be good, and that good can be defined in a single ruling or a single book. They don't understand that you can't actually ever have good, because good is relative. You can strive to be good, but you always, when you strive, and all your actions will be rooted in evil, because there's always somebody else who suffers from your actions.
So what did they precisely have me doing to this girl?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean,
Are you disassociating from it? You really honestly don't know?
No, I know.
Well, please, Nick, it's so important, Nick. This could be one of the most important things you do, Nick. And it's so important, Nick, for the future, because they're going to do this to other people, Nick. They're going to do this to other people, Nick. They caused a girl that I loved to kill herself, Nick. They caused a girl that I loved to kill herself, and they tried to get me to kill myself over this. That's what they did. That is what they did. That is what they did. And at first I thought, oh, this is just a deception. She didn't really kill herself over just watching one of my videos. You know, she's got to be tougher than that. You know. What did they have me do, Nick? Nick, what were they having me do? Please tell me. Please tell. It doesn't matter, Nick. Well, they influence you to think these things, Nick. Nick, that's not Nick. It's just electromagnetic frequencies. It's just Nick. This is a science, Nick. It's a science, Nick. We're just machines in a kind of a way. We're just hugely complex machines, you know. I mean, so please tell me, Nick. Please tell me. It all works together, Nick. Please tell me what you thought I was doing. Please tell me what you thought I was doing. Please tell me. Please tell me exactly. I don't care how horrible it is. Please, it's so important, Nick, that people know. It's so important people know, Nick, how bad these people are. Please, Nick. Please.